Is the new iPhone worth it? Can AirPods now double as hearing aids? And what can we expect to see from phones in just 2 years? Who better to break it all down than Mr. Mobile himself? With over 1 million YouTube followers and a go-to for reviews, not just mobile, but also gadgets and tech, he created one of the hottest technologies in 2024 called Clicks, giving your smartphone a BlackBerry keyboard. I even put it in my top tech picks from CES segment on the Today Show. And P.S., add this into the mix, he's multifaceted, a sailor, former actor, voiceover artist, and an inventor. Michael and I are gonna have a draft of our favorite Apple announcements. Then Michael shares the backstory of creating Clicks from a napkin drawing. Then we close out with a lightning round of important questions, like what are his top 3 favorite phones of all time? Can we get the best mobile reviewer on this episode? It's technically possible. All right, Mr. Mobile himself, Michael Fisher. Do you ever go out in public, by the way, and people are like, Mr. Mobile? Do you get recognized often?
It's weird because you wouldn't expect that, but yeah, it happens about once a week. It's
I
pretty
knew it.
awesome.
I knew it.
I love it so much because people want to talk about the nerdy stuff that I want to talk about anyway. So I'm like, it's like having a built-in friend once a week to nerd out about phones with for 2 seconds on the sidewalk. It's cool.
Well, I nerded out on your IG Live, and here we are. It's apple picking season, as I like to call it, every year. We know this
Amen.
cycle.
We
You
do
did such a
indeed.
good IG Live at Cupertino headquarters during the Apple event. And I loved how like succinct you were in covering the technologies and your favorite features. And I thought we would first jump in and do a draft of our top 5, not only Apple features, but you get to pick your top hardware, your top software, anything notable from the Apple announcement. Obviously, it's glow time. And since you're a guest, you get 3 picks, and you can start with number 5.
All right, sounds good. I like this format. It speaks directly to the part of me that knows nothing about sports. So just correct me if I do anything wrong. No,
I got you.
so should I pick the most notable or least notable first?
I think you want to start backwards, like maybe like your least notable, and then we want to keep number 1 like pretty hot. Oh, P.S.
Roger.
For anyone tuning in, tell them who your friends are behind the scenes there. You got
Oh yeah. So I have co-stars. Sorry for the distractions. This is Tugboat and Steampot, my 2 little cats. And I'm sure they'll break something, and probably Tugboat will jump in my lap at some point. So that'll be fun for everybody.
Good ratings. Yeah. Love it.
Okay, so number 5. Look, colors. I'm addicted to color, especially in phones. I'm really tired of this boring black, white, or silver kind of thing. Apple has brought color back to the entry-level lineup, at least on the iPhone 16. You've got these beautiful saturated ultramarine, the pink, I forgot what they call it. It's wonderful. It's good to have choice. Let's make phone colors fun again, please.
Wait, we're starting there, really?
Yep, 100%.
I thought you're negating yourself because I thought you said nobody cared about the colors because everybody's going to put a case on it anyways.
Everybody is going to put a case on it anyway, but I care about the colors, and that's what I'm picking.
Fair enough. You get to pick whatever you want.
Yeah.
All right, I feel like I'm going. Do you just thumbs down?
I did not. I did. No, I sure didn't. Thanks, Apple. I appreciate it. These things are great.
All right, I guess I'm going big. I'm going from 5 to 4. I'm probably now. I think I need to rethink my draft order. But I'm going hot on the clinical hearing grade aid feature because I've been covering hearing technology for many years, and we're probably in agreement on this. I thought the 2nd gen iPod Pros and having the 5-minute health assessment, don't have to visit your doctor, FDA approved, making hearing aids so much more accessible and over the counter, and with it to kind of a less of a stigma, if you will. I think anybody expects somebody to have AirPods in, and that's kind of cool, even though hearing technology has come so far and they're so small these days anyways. But amazing capabilities built into AirPod Pros. And I don't know if you think this too. I'm like, after hearing it, I'm like, duh, that makes so much sense. And we saw snippets of this in the past, but it almost feels like it should have been there the whole time. Like, this makes so much sense.
It makes so much sense. And I just posted a video today where I spoke to like that industry being really ripe for disruption, because I have some relatives who've had to wear hearing aids, and like they're expensive, they're fragile, and they're kind of bad. So I think Apple moving into this space makes a lot of sense. In fact, you stole one of my picks. So
oh goodness,
bummer.
This is how you draft fantasy. We're going to talk a little sports here because somebody always takes one of your picks.
Okay. So
I gotta just finish that too, but saying I didn't know, and just covering hearing technology, 20% of the world's global population has hearing loss. And it's such a ripe market, as you noted, but also I didn't know how significant it is. And it's made me rethink, like, how many times are we going to concerts? They're so loud. And we're not thinking about are one of our most important senses. So awesome, Apple. Love me some good health technology. All right, you're up for 3.
All right. Well, in that case, I've put a new one in. Camera control.
Oh
because
yeah.
I don't want you to take that from me. So I came up on phones with built-in two-stage shutter buttons. I mean, it was standard on Windows phones, it was standard on Nokia's. My first camera phone of all time in 2003 had a dedicated camera button. So Apple, in prime Apple form, didn't just do what everyone else is doing, which, by the way, if you look on YouTube and look at the comment section, everyone's like, you stole that from Sony. It's not true. Apple built in a button they don't call a button because it does so much more. You've got that capacitive layer on top that lets you use gestures on top of the button to control pretty much every aspect of the camera without moving your finger, without getting your thumb in the way of the viewfinder. There's an ergonomic learning curve for sure. You're going to be clumsy at it for the first 2 minutes, as I was, where I captured all my footage for my video. I look like an idiot. But once you get past over that hump, it's great. It's really awesome. I'm glad it's there. I hope the whole Android ecosystem re-embraces camera buttons on the
Love
back
it.
of it.
I'm gonna riff off you and go right to two. And I feel like we're already running out of slots. Maybe I should have made this 7, but I'll think about this later. 4K 120. Amazing. I think many people, and myself included, will just upgrade based on the camera alone. We are shooting like crazy. I mean, it's taking up a lot of storage, but when we're seeing music videos being shot in 4K, 120 frames per second, built into your most popular device that you have on you all the time, it is phenomenal. I'm like blown. I continue to be blown away. I always love the camera technology. Am I a loser for picking that at, what are we at, 2?
Not one bit. No, you are well within your rights to pick that because you can make everything cinematically slow-mo, like you said. Like it's incredible.
My
All
heart
right.
sings. All right. Well, we're running out of slots. Go for it.
Okay. I'm gonna go with wait, so what does this mean? Do I have one left or do I have two left too?
I lost count. What are we at? We got 5. You picked colors.
Damn right. I'm sticking with it.
Hearing. 3. You went with
the camera control.
camera control. 2, 4K. We're at
And
1.
this one left. All right, cool. Well, then I have to go with making the cheap one good. This year, the entry-level iPhone has so many of the features that have been exclusive to the Pro for a long time. The dynamic island is down there. The action button is down there. The camera control is down there. So you still make expected sacrifices and refresh rate and the cameras a little bit. But there is so much packed into that $799 iPhone that, I mean, I think this is the most significant year for the entry level in quite a long time. And I think that's great. It's going to open up the iPhone to people who don't have or don't want to spend $1,200 for the Pro experience. And that's pretty cool. Normally I cover the expensive stuff because it's most exciting to me, of course, because I get to use them without paying for them. But, if I were a normal person, I'd be very excited about the entry-level iPhone this year.
I love that pick. Just because I'd be remiss. You have to humor me with AI. Like, are you blown away by it or?
No, not at all. Like it's had a year or more to prove itself as as the paradigm shift game changer that all the marketing materials say it is. Now, I will say, I think Apple has a better chance than almost any company of actually making it deliver, getting it to bring us there. But it has been such a disappointing year for AI and software and hardware that I will not believe it until I see it.
Wow. There you have it. Do you want to give a runner up?
Yeah. Bringing cameras. It's all about the cameras all the time.
I'll give you mine real quick because
do please. Yeah, go.
On your IG live. And I was like, yes, Michael Fisher, targeted audience.
Oh yeah, yes.
Like, how many ancillary devices are we carrying? Like, you and I are shooting on traveling so much, and I'm just so sick of, even though they're this big, and I don't want to sound like it's a first world problem, I'm so sick of carrying my extra DJI, just like right now is my go-to. And it's great. It works awesome, but I don't want to carry anything extra. I just want to point and shoot. And I can't tell how many professional shoots that I'm at. We have like all our DSLR equipment. My team's all around me, and I'm like, get the iPhone. Just get the iPhone. Like, it's all you need.
You're so right. You're so right. It's been that for so many years where we were like, got all the heavy stuff set up. Okay, well, we're shooting into the sun here. You know what? Just pull out the iPhone. Oh yeah, well, you know what? That's better. So absolutely. And you're right. I mean, I'm looking forward to never having to build a hotel room blanket for it for voiceover again, if it works well. I will say, just to stay on the media thing, bringing the Pro cameras to the Mini Pro.
Yeah.
You don't have to get the big iPhone Max anymore if you want the whole camera suite. I won't expound on that too much. That's pretty self-explanatory, but that's something a lot of us have been waiting for a while, even though I like the Max for reasons that we will cover later. Teaser, spoiler.
Aha, I like that. I like teasers. Stay tuned, everybody. He's got
That's right.
something to sleeve. I might know.
Retention editing. You might know what it is. You definitely know what it is.
I asked you for a starting five. You gave me, I ended up asking you for a full team. So well done. I want to
Nice.
segue because I want to talk about you because
Okay.
you mentioned like doing voiceovers in your hotel room. You're such a Renaissance guy. You are a sailor, you are a voiceover artist, you are a former actor. You have done so much. And it always through and through, though, the thread has been technology. Has that always been since you were little and always kind of been your what you wanted to do long term, no matter how it was achieved?
Yeah, I think so. And I don't think I ever believed that that the opportunity would exist for it. You know, when you're in third or fourth grade and they're like, what do you want to do with your life? I'm like, oh, I'm an astronaut, you know, because YouTuber didn't exist. It wasn't a thing. Or technology reviewer was barely a thing. And you'd have to go work for the New York Times. And so the reduction of the barrier to entry made it such that one day in 2011, after a decade of spending all my nights on message boards talking nerdy phone things with other phone nerds, I needed a career change. My voiceover job did dry up. And I said, my goodness, I wonder if anybody would care what I had to say enough about phones to pay me. And one gadget blog did. It was called Pocket Now, and they hired me, and it was kind of off to the races from there.
Was that your tipping point moment, that like that entry moment that you'll never forget, that was kind of changed everything?
Yeah, because like I used to, frankly, I've probably idolized a lot of these the journalists and the media folks who covered this beat. And I would listen. I thought I had parasocial relations with them. I thought I knew them because I would listen to their podcasts and all this stuff. And then to go suddenly be covering those events, to be, you know, rolling up to my first Nokia Lumia launch event and ask the person at the front desk, like, "Excuse me, has The Verge been here already?" You know, it's like tiptoeing around, like, you know, just terrified to look like a noob, but desperately wanting to know if my heroes were there. That was really cool, and it didn't wear off for a long time. It was always a pinch me moment when I got to go do a new thing. So
Probably something some people don't ask you much, but it's such an intriguing world behind the scenes in the voiceover world. And
yeah.
could you share, and I've been there, so I know how wacky and wild, but also how professional, it's a dichotomy of ranges that you can experience while you're going to a voiceover audition. Is there
Yes.
one audition that you really remember vividly, or one that you nailed that people are like, I didn't know that about you?
So there wasn't an audition that I remember well, because I kind of lucked into a very long-term voiceover gig, recording books on tape for law students, which sounds, you're
Wow,
right, I know it sounds crazy
that actually
dry.
sounds really lucrative.
It
Congratulations.
it was. I'm so glad that it happened. It was a result of answering a Craigslist ad and auditioning in a Starbucks.
Was it a
So
misconnections on Craigslist?
yeah, absolutely. The dodgiest corner of Craigslist.
That was like the most epic section.
Absolutely.
Like,
Yeah. Saw you on the train, thought we locked eyes. It's like, no. Yeah, no, it was a gig that my theater professor at the time in college advised me not to do because they weren't paying enough. They were a tiny startup. Turns out I did. I needed the money anyway. They got acquired. I moved to Boston. I lived in Boston for 10 years and I did this VO job for 5. But we were doing that case. You remember the Barbie Girl song?
oh yeah.
So I was Mattel
Aqua?
sued.
Was it
Yeah.
Aqua?
Yeah, it was Aqua. Good. Nice. Mattel sued Aqua, or Aqua's
Nice.
label.
Only
And
layers later to like make up because it was so successful. Sorry,
exactly.
I'm like blah, blah, blah.
No, you're absolutely right. But that case was notable in some way. So I had to record it and I did. But then there was an appendix, and the appendix was just the lyrics to that song. And so my producer's like, I don't think we need the appendix. I'm like, we need the appendix. So we tacked on another 10 minutes of the session. And I'm, you know, I had to be as dry as possible. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world, laughing plastic. It's fantastic. And just did the entire thing. And for, I think, 5 years, that was the demo reel on the website to audiocasefiles.com.
Is epic.
It's ridiculous.
Great story. I want to ask you because how I connected with you was through a co-founding, in addition to your sailing and your voiceover work and your acting work and your amazing technology reviews. you are a co-founder of one of the most popular gadgets, congratulations, of 2024. That anybody in
you.
the space knows that CES is like the most epic place to be and the most epic place to blow up. And clicks did so much, in fact, that I'll do your hype because
Yeah.
everyone wanted to get their hands on clicks at CES. It was like getting a hold of you guys was amazing. And
Okay.
I ended up putting you on the Today Show, and it was like such a cool, like you guys are
Thank you.
so cool behind the scenes. Like, I love your co-founder Jeff. I love
Jeff, isn't he amazing?
your enthusiasm. I love your kindness. What
Thank
an
you.
awesome product, though. And I wondered where did the idea of clicks, when anyone not familiar, I'll let you do the pitch because it is
Sure.
pretty darn overdue and pretty darn awesome. There it is. Yes.
Thank you. Here it is, because I do always carry it because in addition to juggling 7 phones at a time for Mr. Mobile, I have to constantly figure out what the next clicks is going to do with my team. And I will say this, I'm going to throw it to them entirely because look, this idea of this physical keyboard that you attach to an iPhone in this particular way existed on not quite literally a cocktail napkin, but the digital equivalent of a cocktail napkin.
Oh.
Less than a year before we launched at CES, and it was not mine. It was not my napkin.
Fast.
It really quick. But it was between a conversation between my very good friend Crackberry Kevin and Lang Chen, our just super genius CTO. And Kevin calls me up and he says, "Hey, I got to show you something, but if you tell anybody, I will kill you. This has to be super stealth." I'm like, "Okay." And he sends me this image of this sketch. And I had what Kevin has later taught me, he refers to as a whole body yes. Have you heard of this?
No.
It's very like
No.
self-improvement booky, which I don't really like, but it's like when your brain and your heart and your gut all say yes at the same time. That's what it was. And it was an instinctive, oh my, yes, someone has to build that. And again, Kevin's bringing this to me. So I'm like, I have the business acumen, or I had the business acumen of a discolored stone. So I said, "Hey, I'm Mr. Mobile wants to cover this as an exclusive. You have to give me the exclusive on the first video to cover this." And I think within a week, we had so many phone calls and I'd given so much product feedback and we'd just gone back and forth so much. He's like, Kevin said, "This is stupid. Come on board. We're going to get," Jeff was coming on board at the time. He's like, "We're getting some great people together. Let's all build this company together. Let's launch this product, see if anybody cares." And then, as you say, CES, we were so lucky to be so well received. And it's been wild.
Excuse me to step on you. What a great story of success and collaboration too. Because any one of you could have siloed off and just done your own thing. But it was like, what much more success all coming together. And
legit. And like we had the team, like everyone talks about like, well, I have a great team, but it's like we have like, Jeff is good at one thing and Chen is good at one thing, Kevin's good at one thing, I'm good. Like, and whenever there's a problem one of us can't solve, we call the other one up and it's like, okay, well, let's fix it. And Adrian and Jahanara, and like, by the way, we're up to like 30 people, so I couldn't name them all right now.
oh, wow.
But everyone is so good at what they do. And one of the greatest things I took away from it is like, this is wonderful, but it's not what we wanted to build from the beginning. The product is, but we weren't just building the product. We were building a company to build cooler stuff in the future as well. So like, we're going to do a lot more. I just had a call today where we're going to do truly insane things. I'm looking forward to it.
Can you give us a tease of anything coming down the pipeline?
Jeff would absolutely crush me. He would fly down here from Toronto and execute the Jeff protocol by choking me out.
Yeah, I know you like unsolved mysteries. You could be in an episode if you wanted, if you gave me any trade secrets. But I'm fascinated in understanding the patent process behind the scenes and that you iterated so quickly in a year. Were you doing, I mean, obviously in a world of 3D printing, but how much, a lot of stuff is still manufactured overseas and you need time.
Absolutely.
And you need iteration.
Absolutely. And you need to get it over here in time for stuff. I mean, we were still at CES, the keyboard was near final, but the units we were showing off did not have the final keyboard. And the final one came in while we were there. It wasn't even in a casing. It was a broken out keyboard. It's a little PKB. It was like the size of a matchbox. And we were passing it around to select journalists who we knew were big on hardware keyboards. And we were like, just don't look at it. It's not painted, but tell me how you feel about it. And we got the blessing from the people we trust. And it's like, yeah, that's how it should feel. Okay, well, that's final. Ship it.
I'm going to riff with you off that segment. And now Jeff's going to murder me, which is okay. I hope to survive. But at the Today Show, we had the same scenario. So the segment was there really shortly after CES. And he
Right.
2 units coming in for display. And typically in the props, I'm telling you how it works behind the scenes. We need about 5 units. Like that's what looks pretty on TV. We know what we're doing. The props team is incredible. And he comes in and I met with him, he flies in from CES. He's like, I got the unit. And I'm like, the unit? We're the units. We need multiple units. And he's like, didn't make it. I'm like, it's all good. We're gonna make it work. But while I was like simultaneously sweating, you
No,
have to do
yeah.
what you can in after CES segments on TV. But it was so cool to
Oh,
watch that whole thing transpire and just the success and the excitement around it. And it's still going. I mean, now I'm kind of curious how you're building so fast. I mean, I know a little bit behind the scenes, but you got a new phone that you have to adapt to and you have to quickly pull it off because everybody wants it and everybody's upgrading.
absolutely. And you've got to like make educated guesses in the design process about how to fit a new button window in there, because don't know if you know, a lot of people don't, like a lot of case makers don't get early access to this data. So it's like, okay, well, you've got to start early and hope some of the leaks are right. And then you kind of progress from there. But I remember being told about the Today Show appearance after, and I was, by the way, very crushed that I couldn't be the one because I live here in New York. I was like, I should, I couldn't, I forgot what it was. Oh, I know it was Samsung. Samsung was launching a phone right in the back of CES. I had to fly to San Jose to go cover that instead. So I
it was a
couldn't
whirlwind
be
2
here.
weeks. We were all going nuts every
It
year
was
at CES.
whirlwind, yeah. But you look like you have not suffered much from it, whereas I feel like I've aged 5 years in the past 8 months.
You said something kind of inappropriate. It's like every time you come back from CES, you get like the crud. And I was like, it's
Oh,
an
100%.
awful craft word, but you do. You're like sick for 2 weeks.
You're shot.
Your body just goes into like remission. It just can't handle it anymore. I don't know what you passed around there. You're just trying to survive when you come back from CES, and then you have more media to do. So you're like, hi, here I am. I'm really
Absolutely. Yeah, you're like, no, don't believe it. Don't look at my skin. It's fine. I'm good. Yeah. And then Vegas, of course, it exacerbates everything because you're walking through cigarette smoke in the casinos and the driest desert air. And no, it's just the greatest time.
It's a great time. It's a cesspool of germs, but we love it. New technology.
That's right. New tech, new fun, new gadgets.
All right. I'm taking up all your time. We are at the lightning round. I'm going to ask you a few questions. Quick answers. You ready for this?
All right. Hope to do better than I did in the draft. Let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Great in the draft. Are you old enough to remember call waiting?
Oh, heck yeah. I remember the tone. I remember begging my dad to get it. He wouldn't.
Oh, you didn't have it?
Nope. I mean, my mom did, but my dad didn't. Yeah. So yeah, people couldn't break through in the calls. But I wish my mom hadn't, because we had dial-up over there and call waiting would ruin your internet session. Remember?
Did you do the voiceover on the answering machine?
No, I didn't, because I think before my voice changed, I just sounded like my mom. So it's like, it would have been a duplication of effort.
Does Apple ever get a circular design on the watch? I know you want it badly.
I sat up in my seat and I was like, new design? No, it's not. Okay. So no, I hope so. But I mean, I want a folding iPhone and I want a circular Apple Watch. And I just am convinced I'm not going to see those for 2 years at least.
How many phones are you testing at any given moment?
Right now it's 4. Typically it's about 2.
What do you think of Mr. Mobile in Singapore?
I think he would be sweaty, but he would have quite an adventure. I've wanted to go to Singapore for a while.
I know, so have I. There's amazing technology stuff over there happening, and I feel like it's just getting bigger and more interesting. But my team was putting together your graphics and stuff for this episode, and they're like, dude, did you see this Mr. Mobile store in Singapore? Has Mr. Mobile have any beef with Mr. Mobile?
That Mr. Mobile. Okay, got it. Yeah. No, yeah, we have longstanding words. There's a Mr. Mobile in Scotland. There's one in London. There's all those. They're we send just red hot DMs to each other. It's very crude and awful. Someday there will be peace.
Features you predict in 2 years on a phone?
Predict, I don't know. Hope, I really want Apple to launch a folding flip style clamshell so that that category can continue its momentum. And I don't know how you feel about them, but like I carry the Razer Plus review unit as one of my standard phones, and like the ability to just fold this up into something so portable, or do dumb influencer stuff like use the viewfinder on the cover and like take photos of myself and just have fun with a phone again. I want more phones to do this. I don't want to have to choose between like 3. So that's what I would like in about 2 years, for the flip form factor to really continue its advance.
In your final question, you do have to choose 3. It's a perfect segue. Your favorite 3 phones of all time.
My favorite 3. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. Good for you. Thank you for being so gracious and giving me 3 because I prepared 1. I'll save that one. My first camera phone is a Samsung A600. Still more advanced than almost any camera phones you have today because the camera was on a barrel. It like rotated, so it could be a selfie camera or the main camera. You didn't have to like choose.
Good one.
And the screen spun around too, so you could close it. It was great. Look at it, Samsung A600. I made a video. It was great. Middle one, I don't know. The final one, maybe come back for that second one. Palm Pre.
Ooh.
The best smartphone of all time. I made a video about it, a throwback video, and I called it basically, the Palm Pre is the reason you love your phone. Because whether you're using Android or iOS, those basically stole, or not stole, but they transplanted all the great stuff from Palm Pre and WebOS after Palm failed, after HP acquired them and shut them down. So it's that will always have a very warm and comfortable place in my heart. And then I'll give you I figured it out. My first smartphone, the BlackBerry 7520.
You had to go there. You had to go there.
Had to. I mean, come on. It taught me how to love physical keys.
Yes.
Now we're back full circle.
Full circle, well done. And I'd be remiss, any way people can move over from Android to iPhone or back and forth? Is there ever, what would make that happen at this point when we're so baked into an ecosystem?
Yeah, some of it is just, you're not going to solve the some of those problems. It is a pretty good time to do it though, because with Apple adopting RCS messaging protocol, your bubble will still be green, but you're not going to ruin group chats. You're going to have high resolution pictures and videos. So that's in text messaging. So that's better. And I would say if you are intending to go the iOS to Android route, you can, like my whole home screen on the iPhone is basically all Google apps. Like you can use both ecosystems at once. And so I think it's a little bit easier. That makes it easier to go from iOS to Android. Of course, from Android to iOS, it's a little more complicated. You got to do a lot of more takeout and stuff like that. It's never, don't underestimate it. It's like adopting cats. Don't underestimate it's
from the pro interview. Thank you so much, Michael Fisher, Mr. Mobile himself. And when can we expect to see clicks on iPhone 16?
We have announced it, and it will be available to order as of October 7th.
Fast. Well done.
Wish us luck keeping that momentum up.
Amazing job. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Katie. See ya.
Let me know what your favorite Apple announcement was or your favorite phone of all time, and I'll send one commenter this week a clicks for their phone. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe for more awesome tech interviews and innovation. I'm Katie Linendoll, and don't give up the ship.